KUAM News Headlines is presented by Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust, serving Micronesia since 1938. Matson, celebrating 25 years of commitment to Guam, Micronesia, and the CNMI. Cars Plus Hyundai, home of the Kona electric vehicle, an electric heart with an SUV soul. Test drive yours today at Cars Plus. McDonald's of Guam, I'm Loving It, and King's Restaurant, serving your local breakfast, lunch, and dinner favorites for over 45 years.
Ahead on Primetime, how scammers are using the pandemic to hawk bogus COVID cures. Ernesto Lucanto has a story. Plus, the deadline to file for the All Rise program has passed. And police are investigating an early morning shooting that took place in the village of Dededo.
And good evening, everyone. The COVID pandemic is giving rise to a new brand of criminal activity. In an exclusive interview with KUAM, the head of the FBI's Honolulu office, which also oversees Guam, the CNMI, and American Samoa, explains how the bad guys are exploiting a virus-fearful public. Special Agent in Charge Stephen Merrill is a 30-year veteran of the FBI, appointed to head the regional office in June.
The pandemic has changed the world. Everybody knows that. And one of the ways it's changed in the criminal realm is that it's provided opportunities for criminals to use the COVID environment to offer new scams and new schemes to defraud.
He says one of those ways is through telemedicine. For example, dubious health experts trying to exploit people online with purported COVID cures.
We had seen from the outset of COVID that people were offering fraudulent schemes to give vaccines, to give testing. And again, any opportunity you have where you need to see a doctor, you should do that in person when possible, but do it with a trusted doctor, someone who's well known to you and your family.
Like the snake oil salesmen of old, these new digital scammers are after one thing: money, and lots of it.
It is such a big business, such a big part of our economy, the healthcare industry. There's just so much money, whether it be personal funds or through government programs like Medicare and Medicaid, that the criminals don't need to make that much money off of one person, but if they could spread the scheme around to a number of victims, which is generally what happens, they can really make a lot of money.
The bottom line is, buyer beware. In police news, detectives are investigating an early morning shooting that occurred here at Dave's Barbershop in Dededo. KUAM has learned that a man broke into the shop and was then shot in the chest area. According to police spokesperson Sergeant Paul Taplau, the incident occurred at around 5 a.m. The man was transported to GRMC. His condition is not known at this time, and no other details are currently available. The deadline has passed to file for the All Rise program. Reventech stopped accepting online and manual applications as of 5 p.m. As of yesterday, a total of 35,632 applications were received, 26,885 were filed online, and 8,747 were filed manually. DRT is processing on a first-in, first-out basis. The first batch of approved applicants began receiving payments on Monday, but no word on how many new batches have been forwarded to DOA. Also, DRT still needs to calculate what the total payout is. The All Rise program has a cap of $30 million, but the governor has said she would find the money if there was a shortfall. The Guam Education Board will be holding a workshop tomorrow to discuss the options and plans for when schools officially return to in-person learning. Isaiah Uggan has the progress report.
Guam Department of Education Superintendent John Fernandez says no final decision has been made on when the governor will allow for the return of face-to-face instruction, although she is monitoring the COVID case count.
When she does reauthorize, she will pick a date that will be at least the earliest that schools can open, but she's going to leave it to the individual schools or school districts like GDOE or the Catholic schools to determine how they want to open and when they want to open after that initial date.
Fernandez says in the interim, GDOE has been strategizing and reinforcing safety protocols. For example, GDOE has begun installing plexiglass shields in cafeterias and canopies to address social distancing concerns.
So when people return to school, they will see some of these additional supports in place, and then we can hopefully assure our parents that we are safe.
Since schools were shut down more than 2 weeks ago, it's also given GDOE time to hear concerns and suggestions from parents and stakeholders through their virtual input sessions on how they feel GDOE should proceed when in-person learning returns. One of those suggestions being to return to class through cohorts.
It's going to be an interim solution. We're not doing cohorts all year. That's not the intent. But while we are, in the high risk, measure of risk, in the community, that's probably going to be our approach until those numbers come down. And once those numbers come down, we can then resume, full in-person instruction.
Those issues and more, according to Fernandez, will be vetted when the GEB workshop is held on Thursday to discuss plans for reopening.
What we want to do is we want to avoid another full shutdown if possible. And I mean, it's so disruptive to shut the entire school system down that we've been looking at, what are these other options that will allow us to create a safer campus, help our stakeholders feel more comfortable, but at the same time, avoid having to close down the entire schools.
Reporting for Guam's News Network, Kwahusi Isaiah Uggan.
A top federal official from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services is on island. According to Guam's Chief Health Officer Chima Mbakwam, he's here to help and assess Guam's COVID response.
The Regional Health Administrator for Region 9 HHS is on Guam. He's here physically. So, that will tell you how much effort, the government is making, to get us that support. So we actually have the big guns on ground. So I think things will relatively change before the end of the week. They also have a subject matter expert for the Regent Cove on island too. So today we are going to actually, move around the island to look at what else that we need to, do. And having the big decision makers on island is an added advantage.
Mbakwam adds shipment issues involving Regent Cove have been addressed. As we reported, GMH received 168 vials over the weekend, but 144 were deemed unusable because of temperature control problems. This was not the fault of the local government, but issues with the shipper. And while HHS may be on Guam, the 3 5-member teams from the Federal Emergency Management Agency haven't arrived yet. Public Health initially got word that FEMA would be here on Monday, but was later informed they would be here next Friday. FEMA Public Affairs Specialist Frank Manzel says the delay was based on the technical reviews that needed to be completed first. The team will help with the administration of the monoclonal antibody treatments at the Mangilao Senior Center. Manzel said FEMA also received a request for up to 15 registered nurses. The mission assignment was issued to the Defense Department, and the RN should be arriving within about 2 weeks. And more GMH staffers have been infected with COVID-19. Hospital CEO and Administrator Lillian Posadas confirms that 2 more employees tested positive this week, but they were from household contacts. Just last week, 7 GMH employees were infected. And during August, Posadas says at least 16 had tested positive. GMH's Infection Control Department is conducting contact tracing. And as we wait on the latest numbers from the Joint Information Center, 2 more COVID-related fatalities were confirmed yesterday. One was a 52-year-old man who was dead on arrival at GMH with unknown vaccination status and unknown underlying health conditions. The second was an 84-year-old man fully vaccinated with underlying health conditions at GRMC. 71 are currently hospitalized, 15 are receiving ICU level of care, and 5 are on ventilators. 38 are unvaccinated, 7 are unknown, 1 is ineligible, and 25 are vaccinated. 219 new COVID cases were reported from 1,720 samples taken on September 13. To date, there have been a total of 12,772 officially reported cases of COVID-19. The CAR score jumped to 43.9. And we invite you to voice your view on our Facebook and Instagram with our daily question. Sound off on the issues that matter to you. Today's question: what specific restrictions would you like to see to contain the spread of COVID-19? In a spirited exchange with Chris and Bree on the link this morning, Public Health Chima Mbakwam says he's open to suggestions. We'll share your responses on the link tomorrow morning. In regional news, CNMI Lieutenant Governor Arnold Palacios testified at a committee meeting as legislators probe alleged misuse of funds and corruption by Governor Ralph Torres. He described the circumstances as a, quote, dark cloud that will linger until Torres speaks for himself. Our Tomas Manglonio reports.
I never thought that when I took oath of office, the oath of office as the lieutenant governor, that I would find myself in this position, having to respond to a subpoena to appear before this committee.
The lieutenant governor choosing to testify without counsel in the months-long probe by legislators into Governor Ralph Torres' alleged misuse of funds and corruption.
The matters before this committee are public matters, not private matters. And that is all we seek is the truth from you.
The committee is probing into the spending, reimbursements, first-class travel, and use of security detail by Governor Torres and First Lady Diane Torres. They've questioned police officers and personnel in recent months who've often said they do not recall events outlined by the committee based on documents that paint a clearer picture, one that Palacios recalls.
When you did become aware that he was traveling first class at government expense, you did raise the issue.
I did raise that a couple of times.
Do you remember when?
Like I said, early on in our tenure.
The records show that Governor Torres claimed reimbursements for a car battery for a personal vehicle that was shortly sold thereafter to a private citizen. Would you consider this to be a legitimate public purpose expense?
No.
Under the same branch of government, it's as if Torres and Palacios served in different administrations.
Do you get the same treatment as Governor Torres by DPS Commissioner Robert Guerrero, wherein the DPS Commissioner will meet the governor on the tarmac as soon as he steps off a plane and escorts him out a chain link fence without even having to go through the secured area to clear customs and quarantine? Do you get the same treatment as Governor Torres by DPS Commissioner Robert Guerrero?
No, I don't.
Fair enough.
And I refuse.
Okay.
Somebody had made that recommendation early on in our tenure, and I said no.
The records reviewed also show that Governor Torres utilized DPS boating safety resources, including search and rescue boats, multiple boating safety officers, thousands of gallons of government-funded fuel on more than 85 boating trips, totaling hundreds of hours between March 2017 and July 2020. These include trips to Rota, Tinian, Guam, Managaha, Goat Island, and the Northern Islands. Many of these vessel usage reports indicate no particular destination, but we do know from the testimonies we've heard so far that some of the governor's boating trips were for recreational fishing in open water. Some of the trips appear to be sunset cruises or happy hour trips to Managaha with the First Lady and other individuals. In your view, Lieutenant Governor, are these improper uses of government resources, police officers, police boats, government fuel, and other publicly funded supplies?
On the face of it, yes.
In a press briefing last week, Governor Torres told KUAM that there's still confidence between the two under his administration. Tomas Manglotnya for KUAM News.
The committee plans to continue the hearing with more witnesses in the coming months. Palacios has also considered a run for governor in the next election. KUAM is waiting for a response from the governor's press secretary, Kevin Bautista. We're going to take a short break. Be back with more news right after this.
Half a day. As we look ahead to a brighter tomorrow, Matson's commitment to Guam and Micronesia remains stronger than ever. While the world around us is ever-changing, what remains unchanged is our commitment to you, our customers, and the island communities we serve. Shipping is what we do best, and serving our community is at the heart of everything we do. But we don't do it alone. This is why we support organizations that make caring for the people and the environment a top priority. We know that many count on Matson's lifeline services in the Pacific, and that's why we continue to work hard to ensure that our shipments remain on time all the time. Matson recently added another Aloha-class vessel to our schedule. We now have two of Matson's largest and fastest ships serving Guam from the U.S. West Coast and Hawaii. With our new state-of-the-art vessels, we stand ready to support the region's economic recovery. Thank you for the privilege of serving you for the last 25 years, and you can count on Matson to be here for the next 25 years and beyond.
Our family was recently challenged with a difficult medical condition where my son needed a liver transplant. And I asked Calvo Select Care to assist me with that, and he required off-island care. In fact, it can only be taken care of off-island. So Comp Select Care was there to help with all the referrals and the off-island coverage.
Of Guam employees and retirees. Enroll now.
Hi, my name is Justine Chu.
Jim Pamplona.
Alexis Sablan. I'm Minami Kramer, and I'm a GTA youth leader.
Because of GTA, I was able to go to Interlaken, a summer music camp over the summer, and I'm very, very grateful for that opportunity.
It helped me pay for my college tuition with a scholarship.
Benefits, including a free phone and a year of free service.
If you're someone who wants to inspire others, help others, and become a better person, this is for you.
Become a GTA youth leader today.
It's a special delivery to your inbox every week with your KUAM News Roundup, program advisories, and promotions. Sign up for the weekly KUAM Digital Digest today on KUAM.com.
Welcome back. The Mayor's Council will no longer receive COVID-19 response differential pay due to funding issues. Here's more with Isaiah Uggan.
The Mayor's Council of Guam has been on the front line along with nurses and doctors, among others, since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, but will no longer be receiving their hard-earned COVID-19 response differential pay because no more funds, according to MCOG Vice President and Sinahanya Mayor Robert Hoffman. PD Mayor Jesse Alec, who is also the MCOG President, also confirmed that they will not be receiving the additional pay of what is owed to them, at least for now.
Have you guys been notified that you guys aren't going to be paid any more COVID differential pay?
Yes.
Since the coronavirus has hit our island shores in March of last year, mayors and staff have been on the front lines distributing TFAB food commodities, senior citizen meals, a Guam Department of Education grab-and-go school meals, along with their long list of normal duties like traffic control, funeral escorts, and village maintenance. Alex shared that he was upset about his staff not receiving the additional funds of what's earned.
I said, you know what? You just gotta laugh sometimes because we're all okay, you know, we're alive. But you're right. I mean, our coworkers, they work so hard. I mean, they really do. For all the crazy things people say about them and for all the crazy things we make them do, you know, they do deserve that differential pay. Especially, I mean, you know, they've never stopped working. We said it time and time again on the show. They've never stopped working. They continue to work just like everybody else. So, you know, they're not any different from anyone else that's working in the front lines. And so I laugh about it, not because I think it's funny, but, you know, what else can I do? I mean, if I had the millions in my pocket, I'd give it because I know that they deserve it and that they've earned it.
Alec noted that the body has yet to receive federal funding from the American Rescue Plan.
Well, we don't have any money in the Mayor's Council of Guam from ARP, so I can say no on our end. Whether it was transferred.
So no local funds, as far as you're aware, has been used to pay for the COVID differential pay for the Mayor's Council of Guam employees?
No.
However, Alex said that he was assured that they would get paid as soon as they could identify a source of local funds. He said that they can't pay for it because they're already short for this fiscal year. As we reported, the MCOG is facing a $2.8 million budget shortfall for this fiscal year, which is expected to conclude by the end of September. It's been 2 weeks since the council submitted any COVID timesheets, but the MCOG will continue to fill out the timesheets until the Department of Administration accepts them. Hoffman said that as of Wednesday, DOA is behind one pay period. Reporting for Guam's News Network, Wahusi Isaiah Uggan.
The procurement appeal of a controversial emergency purchase of golf carts by the governor's office won't be teeing off this Friday after all. In a motion to delay, losing bidder Turfco said it was notified that Chief Procurement Officer Claudia Akfaji would be off-island on leave and unavailable for at least 2 months. Turfco says her presence is crucial because only she can explain the last-minute changes which the company alleges favor winning vendor AutoSpot. The record shows that GSA changed procurement specs after working hours the day before submissions were due. It required immediate delivery of golf carts, even though the original spec said delivery in 30 days. AutoSpot was the only vendor to indicate on the original RFQ submission that it was able to deliver carts immediately. A status hearing will be held tomorrow to review the motion filed by Turfco. And Guam EPA may finally be getting a permanent headquarters. The proposed site is a prime location in Dededo, an expansive more than 9-acre lot near Marine Drive. Here's more. Guam EPA Administrator Walter Leon Guerrero admits setting aside that kind of property for a government office may raise some eyebrows. But wait.
Some people will say, wow, that's a lot of property for the Guam EPA. Well, maybe it's not known, and it is in the bill, that this is known contaminated property.
The site housed the former Dededo Solid Waste Transfer Station and a scrap metal yard, which handled lots of toxic materials. But that's precisely why GIPA chose it. The agency that's the watchdog over contaminated sites wants to put its money where its mouth is. Actually, it's the U.S. EPA's money. Deputy Administrator Michelle Lastimosa says they've applied for a $4.5 million federal grant under what's called the Brownfield Program to rehabilitate the property.
They did a preliminary study. They took samples and identified some heavy metals on the property. So we know that there's contamination on the property. We know that there's still a lot of work ahead of us. But again, Brownfield's money cannot be used unless the property belongs to belongs to the entity that's requesting for the assessment.
However, the Dededo Municipal Planning Council has raised an objection. It wants to reopen a solid waste transfer station in the village to help curb the illegal dumping problem. But GSWA General Manager Larry Gass said that's not a good idea.
The transfer stations are by far the most labor-intensive and costly way that we handle waste.
The bill by Senator Sabina Perez would transfer the title of the property to GIPA from the current owner, the Department of Public Works. There's a revised plan for littering and illegal dumping. Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio gave an update on Senator Sabina Perez's revisions during Tuesday's island-wide beautification task force meeting.
If you are found in violation for the first time, your penalty will be $200. Second offense will be $300, and for each third and subsequent events will be $500, which I would say is a significant thing. She's also laid out a process in which the courts can consider instructing or mandating offenders to actually perform some cleanup work and recycling work.
The new revised plan is to hold litterers and illegal dumpers accountable. Sports is next. Don't go away.
Your community calendar is brought to you by Taco Bell. Whether it's your first meal or your fourth meal, we've got you covered. Taco Bell, live Mas.
Do you feel like you're missing out on something? Make life more rewarding with Pacific Points. Earn and redeem points for bill rebates and free load at IT&E, discounts on fuel at Shell, vouchers at Foodies, and United Mileage Plus miles. You can even pay with Pacific Points at IT&E, Shell, and Foodies. Pacific Points. Do more, get more.
Guam was once home to over 12 native species of forest birds, each with their own unique sound, color, and role to play in our ecosystem. However, the arrival of the brown tree snake has threatened their existence. Today, only 3 of these species still exist in the wild. But what was once lost can be restored. Join the Department of Agriculture's efforts to restore our ecosystem.
New crisp
chicken breast. For a limited time, only at Panda Express.
When making the new Kentucky Fried Chicken sandwich, people asked how I felt about burger places selling fried chicken. I'd say that's none of my business. Just like making fried chicken is none of theirs. Get the new Kentucky Fried Chicken sandwich. It's finger-licking good.
KUAM Sports is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.
Team Guam Olympic weightlifter Jacinta Sumagese, you missed out on this year's Olympic Games, but now you're able to represent Guam again. How has training been for this upcoming event?
Yes, it's very unfortunate that I missed out on lifting in the Summer Games, but training has not stopped. Although it was a little setback, I still continue to train each and every day at the gym.
This is going to be your first virtual competition, and how it's going to be ran.
Okay, so we've been doing a lot of trial and error runs. The first online was ran earlier this year as a trial run, and that competition actually ran pretty smoothly. I did not compete in that competition, but one of our other lifters did. And from the looks of it, it could be done. We've been doing a lot of testing since then just to make sure we got all the kinks out. And it looks like it's going to turn out to be a really good Oceania Championship.
What are your target numbers for this meet?
So for this meet, I'll be actually lifting in the 59 kilo category. So weight dropping is not as bad. So my target numbers to end with the snatch is 78 kilos and clean and jerk at least 105 kilos.
Any advantages of lifting at your gym?
Oh yes, there's so much advantages. Having my teammates around versus going to other off-island comps where it's only coach and I. It's a huge advantage having their support and just seeing familiar faces, watching you.
What's next for you after this virtual competition?
I'm hoping that in-person competition starts and continues, and that will be the start of the new qualification period for Olympics 2024. And my goal is still to get to the Olympics. Even with this setback, my spirits are still high and my hopes are still high, and I just hope to still have the support from the island.
And how motivating is it to see Coach Julius help the Philippines win their first ever gold medal, and knowing that you've trained alongside of him, and just knowing someone that had something to do with an Olympic medal?
Oh yes, I'm so proud of him. I'm so proud of Heidi. We met Heidi. I met Heidi the same time as Jules, and I'm just so amazed on how far they've come. I'm just really happy for both of them. I'm really proud of them. I spoke to Jules recently as well, and although we were bummed that we didn't have the reunion that we wanted, I only wish the best for them, and I'm just so proud of them.
KUAM Sports is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.
Building on the past, we at Docomo Pacific Business believe in helping businesses move forward and together, changing the way we get things done to make you and your company reach your highest potential. Trust in our commitment to bring you the best solutions for all your business goals. We are Docomo Pacific Business. Let's work better together.
Say hello to the First Hawaiian Bank mobile app, where you get smart insights into your finances so you can make smart decisions with your money. With a daily personalized feed, you can compare your monthly income to spending. That's better. Discover where your money is actually going. You might be surprised. See what's essential and what isn't. The more you use the app, the smarter it gets. With insights from the First Hawaiian Bank mobile app, it all starts with yes.
The new crispy chicken sandwich taco from Taco Bell. Is it a sandwich or a taco? Which side are you on? Try it only at Taco Bell.
100% truck, 100% Jeep. Experience next-level off-roading on your new Jeep Gladiator, the most capable off-road midsize pickup truck crafted for adventure, equipped with best-in-class towing capacity, legendary 4x4 Jeep capability, and backed by Guam's only lifetime powertrain warranty. Drive home in a 2021 Jeep Gladiator today, starting as low as $315 per paycheck during Jeep Adventure Days. Visit CarsPlusGuam.com to get pre-approved online today. Terms and conditions apply. Cars Plus, driven by you.
And before we go, here's our latest round of birthday shout-outs from the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club.
Happy September 15th birthday to Kelly Meno Santos. Happy birthday to our daughter. Today is your big day. You are an amazing blessing to us. You are our greatest joy in this life, and may God continue to shower you with his loving grace and bless you beyond measure. We love you with all the strength of our hearts. Love, Mom and Dad. Mike Malolo Madness. That is a fantastic, fantastic shout out, you guys. Happy birthday to Kelly. Great job. Also, Maria D. Mesa, otherwise known as Kit. Happy birthday blessings to you, Mama. Love always your children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. I got to tell you guys, when you get birthday love from 3 generations, you are having a good day. So we hope with all of our hearts that Kelly and Kit have the best birthdays ever. We wish you and your family good health, good fortune, and please have a safe day. We celebrate you because today is your birthday.
That's our report for tonight. Thanks for watching. Good night, everyone.
In Full Zoom is presented by Calvo Enterprises, Inc. and IT&E.
Half a day, everyone, and welcome to another edition of In Full Zoom. I'm Nestor Lecanto, and this week we're going to talk a little bit about the insurance industry with 2 of the largest